how I came to this and some of my own journey. When I was a kid, I never heard the word mindfulness. Right now, it's super trendy. It keeps me very well employed. I see some friends and colleagues who are also mindfulness professionals and old friends in the crowd today. And it's very trendy right now, of course, and yet it's also longer lasting. And I think about experiences that I had that I think of as being mindfulness before we heard the word mindfulness when I was a kid, and maybe even after the word mindfulness has lost some of its cachet. But things like going to a camp when I was 6 or 7 years old. And I remember the counselors would say, we're going to go walk in the woods as silently as we can. And, don't make a sound at all. Walk like a ninja, right? Walk like an Indian, which, we don't really say anymore. And we'd walk in the woods. And I remember, thinking like, if you walk as silently as you can, you're not thinking about the future. You're not worried about the past. You're only focused on each footstep, the sensation of each footstep, the texture of the floor underneath you, the movement of each muscle. And so you're really in the moment, and you're really doing what we call mindful walking, basically, because 20 years later, I took a mindfulness course and we did mindful walking where they said, focus on the sensation of each footstep, notice the texture of the ground underneath you, focus on each muscle as it moves. But they didn't say walk like a ninja. But with kids, you say walk like a ninja, and you're kind of getting the same effect. And they said, we're going to sit down in the forest. And we're going to notice all the sounds that we can hear around us for the next few minutes. And I remember thinking, we're going to listen like a deer, right? Or like a rabbit or something like that. We're not going to hear anything, right? It's just going to be silent. And then sure enough, you can hear the river rushing in the background. You can hear the wind whispering in the trees, things like that. You can hear the highway, unfortunately. And it felt kind of magical. Suddenly we got quiet enough to start to notice everything outside of us and even some sounds inside our bodies too. And years later, again, as I got interested in mindfulness, realizing, oh, that was like a mindful listening practice. They just didn't call it that. They called it, like ninja listening or listen like a rabbit.